this chart is going to show us then the abnormalities that we can discover through urine analysis. So after a patient gives a urine sample, it is sent to the lab, and a dipstick is typically used, dipped into the urine, and the way that that dipstick comes back, the coating of the colors and everything that comes back on that, is actually going to tell the lab tech a lot of information. And what it kind of shows them, see if I can draw a picture here. Get rid of this. So you have this dipstick, and it has a bunch of little squares on it. And this first square might be for protein, the second square might be for sugars, the next one might be for blood. And so all of these squares are going to present with different pictures. This one might be red with like little dots in it, and this one might be orange, and so on. So each one is going to have its own color, and then it has a key with it. And it's going to have like a normal key, and then it's going to also have an abnormal key. And for example, for the blood, a few dots within might be slightly abnormal. More dots is even more abnormal. The next one might be almost completely covered, and then maybe the last one is like just completely the wrong color. And so this will kind of tell the lab tech how to report it out. Is it normal, or is it slightly abnormal, very abnormal? So this is the dipstick part of it. It is more of a visual, comparing the information on the bottle, comparing the key to what the dipstick is actually showing. So we can get a lot of information from that. Anything that's macroscopic can be detected by that. The lab tech is also going to be responsible for looking at the color of the urine, its clarity, is it cloudy, is it clear, all of that, and all of that gets reported into the urine analysis report. Now there's also some other tools that the lab can use, and that is to look at the urine sample underneath the microscope. This is where they can detect, are there white blood cells, or any white blood cells, is there casts within it, are there crystals within it, is there microscopic blood in the urine. So there usually goes under two different evaluations. The last thing that they can do, and I didn't talk about it in here because it's not really as important, at least for ultrasound purposes, is they can then try to culture the urine. So if they think that the patient has an infection, some sort of bacteria within the urine, they'll then take that and put it on a petri dish and see what grows from it. And the reason it's not as pertinent to ultrasound, it's pertinent to the patient's care, but not as pertinent to the ultrasound, because it does take a couple of days for bacteria to grow for them to decide what type of bacteria is causing the infection. Typically when a patient is sent to us for ultrasound, we just take a quick look at their urine analysis. We can tell, do they have blood in their urine? Blood is a strong indicator of infection or stones. Is there bacteria in their urine? Bacteria is a strong indicator of urinary tract infections. Might only be in the bladder, but maybe up in the kidney as well. When a person starts to have too much sugar in their urine, too much protein in their urine, we start to think diabetes. If the patient has bilirubin in their urine, any bilirubin in their urine is actually abnormal. So now that goes back to some sort of liver disease or biliary obstruction. So the urine analysis can actually tell us a lot about what's going on either in the kidney or elsewhere in the body. So my advice to you on this one is to read the slides about urine analysis, and then look at this slide to really get the gist of everything, know the kind of medical term for it, what it means, and what abnormality you would want to look for first.